What's up, guys? So I wasn't really planning on doing an unboxing video, but on the live stream last night for the Man Array drawing, RC Vintage said just do one. So I guess I'll just do one. I'm not gonna get like super in depth with it. Multiple channels have already kind of done that. The Guru's World, I'm pretty sure Retro RC did one, and Hot Rex RC did one. I don't remember if RC Vintage actually did one, but I know he's working on building his. So, but anyway, I haven't opened it yet, so crack the seals and see what's what in my dull ass blade. I really gotta get some new ones. Not to mention my workbench is a disaster area, and I don't really have the room to be. The seal's kind of goobered, and the box. I got home from work. I knew it was coming. So I get home from work, and it's sitting in the living room, and the box is like twice as high as it really needed to be, and it was like crushed down, so there's a crease on the front of the box. It's not terrible, but kind of see it. There's a little goober on the one side, but so first off, this isn't for me. I do have my name on one at the hobby shop, but someone reached out to me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, would you order one for me and put it together, pretty much in preparation for the Vintage Nats. So gonna get it built. He's sending me the electronics and stuff are on the way. And I think he got the tires and stuff in, so he's actually gluing them up. So he bought some JC Racing rear wheels, so that way he can still run the yoke adapters and stuff like that. I think he's just going to keep the wheels and tires just for display, and I'm not even totally sure if he's actually going to race it, or if we're just gonna, because who knows, it might be total dog shit on the track. You never know. I don't think so, but we're at least gonna get it on a track and take some laps with it, and if it works, he's gonna race it. So that's pretty much where I think we're at with it. So I'll do some other today I just want to kind of go through it, see what's in there. I do have kind of a couple comments that I already know I kind of have an issue with, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna complain too much about it, but just couple things I would have liked to have seen. But so yeah, so let's do the tires, copies of the CRP Dynamite tires. They're pretty good. These tires are actually closer to almost needed those on the Kinwell car. It's closer than the ones that were on it. I mean, it's cool, just like everyone else has said, you've seen this car in magazines and stuff for so many years, and it's like now you just open the box and it's all there. So the bulkhead's already modified the way it needs to be. I'm not really a fan of the chrome Eclipse, so probably gonna get. I know the Ace Hardware by me has some, or has them. So I'll either grab a handful there, I'll just order some. We're going to be using these turnbuckles, but we're not using these ball cups. So there's the Fan RC ones are on the way. Or he already actually had a set of them. So he's sending them with the electronics. So when they were doing like the teasers and stuff of this, and it was pretty, you know, you kind of knew it was the 89 car. The shock caps were the only thing were like the biggest thing I could think of. It was like, if they didn't do the shock caps hard anno, like the bodies, it was like going to be a total loss. Because, I mean, it's one of the things that makes it. You know, all the team guys had those shocks, you know, with the matching hard anno caps. And it's anyone that's ever tried to do a replica of a car from like 88, 89, 90, even Yokomo's, you need those. And it's so hard to find someone that'll do like small batches of hard anno parts. I got a small box over there filled with shock bodies and caps, and I thought I had found someone to do it, and they like never got back to me. So stuff's just been sitting in a box, and it's holding up one of my builds, and that'll be I'll be doing a video on that cars for my whole Misfit series. Standard Stealth. I remember someone else, I knew it, somebody else, you know, made the point that, I can't remember who did, it might have been Hot Trucks, but these, you can't just use this on like a standard graphite car. Like this one's specific to this because the holes are moved inboard. And I don't remember if it could be the 89 and the 91 car. If you look at the originals, you can see where the like standard graphite chassis holes are, and you see where they drilled these more inboard to fit the Stealth chassis. So they actually have both sets of holes. I'll get back to the translator. Top deck battery boxes. Yeah, the one thing that kind of sucks is, you know, there were 6 of them, but, you know, Masami won, and that's the only one that there's really, you know, body off pictures and everything. So, you know, if you wanted to do like an accurate Cliff Led or an accurate Halsey car, it's going to be tough. There's some decent pictures of Halsey's car out there. But, you know, you don't know what it looked like under the hood, or, you know, under the shell. It's Protec 2. Chassis looks good. When they were saying that it was coming with an aluminum chassis, I was like, well, to be honest, if you're gonna race it, it's probably the better option, because this in the back with the arm there we go. That's kind of a weak point. And especially with longer arms and stuff, you're going to have even more leverage. Like if you caught something with the front of the tire, there's even more leverage to pull that out. So it probably is a better option to use an aluminum chassis if you're actually going to race it. Because I know it was kind of a, you know, it's a weak spot. There's a weak spot on like the Knicks cars too, I think. I think a couple guys that, you know, race them, like really race theirs, they went through a couple chassis because there's just not a lot of meat there with a carbon chassis. And steering bell crank. I'm not going to get into taking all the instructions and stuff out. So let me put this stuff away here. Like I said, it is cool because you know, you look at it in a magazine all those years, and here it is. So I have one of the, oh, there's no room on this. Okay. So I have one of the Grand Prix 3D kits. The 89 cars. My buddy Vin got it for me. So I'll just kind of go through. So I've been like just putting some stuff aside for it, like, you know, period correct stuff and tires and some wheels, some parts, like the extra stuff you need to add to it. The CRP tires. These aren't like the actual ones. They're, you have the same like spikes on the outside, but they're 2 grooves. And the I think they're 4223 is like the correct CRP number. And it's like they're kind of tough to find. And if a bunch of people know which tires are the right ones for these cars, you know, they tend to get pricey. And it was like a really popular tire. So I was like, well, I'm not, with this one, I'm not making like a replica of anything. I'm just kind of building it. So these are going to be good enough. I got some JC Racing wheels. The no coast parts. It's like all the aluminum standoffs and whatnot. Got a brand new Futaba. So 131S, it's kind of maybe like just outside of being just a little too old, but it may go in the car regardless, just because it's basically the same thing. So I actually started doing I got some of the no coast parts on it. So let's take that out of the bag. So I'm kind of curious how close this is compared to the AE version. So while I just kind of for shits and giggles, once I start kind of getting into that build, I just want to see how the bulkhead fits. You know, how the arms compare to one another. And just, you know, just for the hell of it. Why not, right? But the one thing that I like about the Grand Prix 3D kit, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Did I misplace it? Okay. So right here. This is a copy. So Andrew copied or made a copy of the original Stealth prototype. Or at least, you know, a pretty close representation of it. Right? And for the associated kit, I just feel that's like a huge, you know, a huge miss for that, to just put like a regular Stealth in it. And even if you wanted to, like, even if if I said, well, I'll just, you know, get one of these from Andrew and put it in mine, the holes don't line up. It has different, it's kind of hard to see, but the holes are in line, right? They're not like wider in the front than the back. They're actually, I don't know if that's original, but if you look at an original 89 car, it looks like the trans holes are straight. It's like a more of a rectangle instead of being wide in the front and narrow in the back. I just feel it's like a real missed opportunity instead of just putting a standard Stealth trans case in it. You know, even like the slipper, you know, that's, you know, you can get away with using the stock slipper and whatever, but, or the normal Stealth slipper. Yeah, you can get away with that. But yeah, I think the trans case was a big miss for me. But you know, it is what it is. Like I said, it's a big plus with the shock caps, and a big negative with trans case. But that's just me. You know, if you're gonna do a replica kind of deal. And there's no way to, it's one thing like on a Kinwall kit, you know, there's a lot of hardware and stuff you can change around and to get it closer to Brian's, but it's all, they gave you everything like the custom stuff. So you got your shock towers and whatnot. And even if they didn't do any of the alterations, any of the chassis mods and all that kind of stuff, you can do all that yourself. There's nothing else that you couldn't have easily done yourself with a Dremel. You know, getting iridium shock towers and that kind of stuff, yeah, that's a little different. But other than that, you could do that. You yourself are not gonna injection mold a copy, or even machine, like they technically, I believe they're machined. You know, unless you're a machinist, you know, you're not going to machine your own copy of a prototype trans case. So, and like I said, it's actually his holes are like that. See, it's more of a rectangle, and the rear ones aren't, you know, close together like a normal Stealth. That's how it's supposed to be. So even if you wanted to put a prototype style trans, even if you made one by hand, you put it in the AE chassis, the holes are in the wrong spot. So if you're really trying to make it accurate, it's wrong. But like I said, that's just me. You know, for me, the thing that really made the 89 car was the trans and the shock caps. And even, you know, using the aluminum chassis, but they offer the carbon one. So it's like at least they offer it. Yeah, you got to pay for it, but you can get it. You know, they make it and they offer it. You're not getting that. You're not getting that from them. Like I said, chassis is one thing. You know, coming with aluminum, I actually kind of feel like I would have just put the carbon in the kit and charged more money and left the aluminum one as the aftermarket one, so to speak. So, okay, well, if you want to race, maybe you're better off with this. But this is how the car was. You know, this is how we're making it, and you're just going to have to pay for it. And I think most people probably would have paid for it. Especially those that, you know, just want a pretty accurate shelf clean. And, you know, it's not going to see any track use. But, yeah. So I don't think I really have anything else to talk about with that. I probably went in a little too much with the Grand Prix 3D one. But, so yeah. Parts are, I know some of the stuff for the AE one are on the way, so I will start kind of digging into that, and I'll do a couple of videos as I go through it. And I know it's going to have a RC10R ESC, a 17.5 RDS Plus. He got a KO servo for it because he wanted like something KO on it. I don't remember which one it is, but it'll have a modern, more modern, you know, digital KO servo. Yeah. So yeah, I ramble too much now. So okay, I'm gonna hop off, and yeah, as parts start rolling in, or I start getting somewhere on the car, I'll do another video. So see you guys on the next one.